transparent with you guys. I did not watch Raw after Mania. I was tapped out and I was tired, but I know what happened.
I did
the shits.
I did.
The main event of Monday Night Raw, or let's say how we closed the show, we found out who else is aligned with Paul Heyman. That being one Braun Breaker, which is an amazing callback, if you remember, to Paul Heyman going down to NXT and saying that Braun Breaker got next.
Yep.
So we have, I think a lot of people are kind of fantasy booking here and saying, hey, this is Evolution 2.0 since Triple H and Shawn kind of just do all their greatest hits and callbacks. It could be something like that. I think it's kind of low bar to make Heyman the Flair of the group, but it makes sense. But at the same time, Flair was still an active competitor when that was going on.
But also let's keep in mind, Evolution had 4 people, so we could get 4 and a Paul Heyman. So we still had a room for 2 more people.
True, if they want to go that route.
Yeah, if we want to go that route.
But before we keep diving into Monday Night Raw, I know Kyle will be back in a second. We are joined by another great in this wrestling space, one of my favorite content creators, and I call him the Pod Father. His name is Flobo Boys.
Yo, the intro is crazy. What's going on, man? Happy post-WrestleMania weekend, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And now he said that
from it for sure.
Now he said that you definitely need the flow train now.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but something with flow train needs to happen now.
Yo, I'm about to go find out back in the day, man.
Lobo, we were just talking to Kyle because I was getting the perspective of those who were actually in the building at WrestleMania, kind of your experience WrestleMania week, but what's your take from actually being in the audience, experiencing the pops, the things like Joe Hendry, Becky Lynch's return, and Kyle is back with us as well.
Yeah, my internet decided it was still on WrestleMania time, apparently.
What's up? Nice to meet you, man.
Likewise, bro. I don't know what you heard of what I said and shit, but
no, you know what? We were just talking about Detroit, how great that town was, man. I was there this month. I was there for opening day.
You know, I'm still jealous. You know, I've lived here my whole life, and I've never gone to a Tigers opening day ever.
Oh, it's a holiday, man.
I know, and it bothers me that I've never been. That's why I'm saying this.
Next year, baby. Yo, I mean, but Cedric, to be honest with you, man, it was great being in the building. I was in the Cedric Welton suite, so I mean, it was just all the pizza and all the beer you can take. Now, you know what's funny about that? Because I splurged this time. Usually, I try to get in where I fit in, you know, at WrestleMania because it's so expensive. But I got floor seats. And to be with the people. Yeah, I'm gonna be paying that off for the next 6 months, man. It's all right.
Hold on, I gotta ask you a question about
were you next to the green shirt guy?
No, I was on the floor way in the back. Like I could not.
I gotta ask you a question about this because this is literally a debate I've been having with people while I was in Vegas and since I've got back from Vegas.
Yeah.
So here's the question: did you buy your tickets ahead of time or did you wait?
A bit of both, because tickets went on sale in November. I bought mine the first week of January.
Okay, so I've said this on on Knockouts and 3 Counts multiple times, and I feel like I even broke my rule in the way that I did it. But I don't ever buy tickets for WrestleMania anymore until I hit the ground.
Oh, see, that's the way to do it. Like, if you ask me which one is better.
Thank you. Okay, so I've been trying to tell people this because I've seen all the dumbass dirt sheet articles that are like, "Oh my God, $400 for nosebleed seats and this, that, and the other," and I'm like, you got to know how to play the game because I literally paid $487 for my ticket for night 1, and I was just off the floor.
But riddle me this, though. Like, I'm with you. If it's just me, great. But you're going with your buddies. You're going with your significant others. You're going to Vegas.
I go with a bunch of people every year.
I'm just saying there's going to be someone to be like, are you sure about that? Did you get the
ticket? Oh, there always is.
Real? Like, I don't know.
There always is because more often than not, I don't always end up sitting with the people that I went with WrestleMania. Like, you know, Teak was with me. Teak didn't end up going to WrestleMania, and shout out to my buddies Ant and Ken from Potters of Destiny. They were with me at Raw, but we sat together at Raw, but we all sat separate from each other at WrestleMania.
Yeah, you're right, but to save $1,000 to get a $10,000 headache, sometimes just like buy it, man. Just buy the tickets. Sorry, Cedric.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, but the vibe was cool, man. Like there's certain moments that I know wouldn't have come across on TV, like when Punk had his match on Saturday night, and that
entrance
package. Yeah, that intro package. We
Yes.
all sang "This Fire Burns," which is like something that like healed me because I actually like that theme song, and I didn't really. So I think the moments are there. I think it's worth being there, and I didn't get a chance to connect with people. I saw pictures. I saw Cedric making wheeling and dealing like Ric Flair, but just to be able to see everyone come out like prom and be like, "Oh, I remember you last year. I remember when Aaron had like 10 belts, and we were talking at Staples Center. That vibe was cool too." And so, I mean, if you can get inside WrestleMania, do it. My concern is now with all these shows that are happening are internationally and all these like 2-night shows, is WrestleMania the clear-cut event to go to? You know what I mean? You can save 10% at SummerSlam. You can save 30%, go into like Saudi Arabia if you want to. Like, is it really WrestleMania or nothing? But when you get in there, it's great.
Well, the only thing I would say to that though is like this is what I tell people all the time because I've been to the Big Five, all of them, and so in my opinion, though, WrestleMania is just different from them all. So, yeah, you might be able to go to the other ones for cheaper, but in my personal opinion, and I've been to 8 of them,
yeah,
like, to me, WrestleMania is different because go ahead.
No, I don't cut you off. I cut you off. Go ahead, man.
No, all I was going to say is just because even in, even in the fact that a lot of people would agree that the build for this year's WrestleMania wasn't as good as it's been in past years, I feel like still once you got in there, like the Intercontinental title match kicked ass. The women's title match that everybody, myself included, said that the build sucked.
Damn.
It's the truth.
Wow.
Just because I felt like the reason I said that, well, you could say that with the Charlotte match, but I say that in terms of I just felt like they tried to shove Rhea back in instead of it being something that was like cohesive in a lot of ways. And I felt like in the way they did it, it kind of made Io look like shit. It was great that she got the win that she did, but it like kept playing like the third fiddle kind of thing.
Yeah, I got
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but again, that was to my whole point though. But then they get in there and they have the match. That match put Io over like $1 million because that match was badass and you never knew at any point who could win that match. And then for her to then pull it out like that, and then look at what we saw on Raw where she got jumped and who comes out to help her but Rhea Ripley out of respect for, what they had, which to me puts Io up here.
I'm glad that's how you took it. I'm glad last time I checked, you went for this title 3 times, and you still ain't in the back of the line yet.
Yeah,
what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? So no one else gets a title shot no more. Is what y'all saying? Because hundreds of women on Raw, and it had to be Rhea to come out.
Well, that was why I'm saying they shoved her into the story. That's what I'm saying. That's why I didn't like the build for it.
Yeah.
That's literally my whole. That's why I'm saying I feel like the match helped Io, but the build was exactly what you said.
Yeah, I feel you. Just quick about the WrestleMania thing. I had not to flex, but I was lucky enough to go to Elimination Chamber last year, the one in Australia. And I'm not comparing Elimination Chamber to WrestleMania because Elimination Chamber is on the road too. But you think about that, like 13 countries, 50,000 people came from all over the world for a wrestling event, and there was wrestling events, satellite wrestling events the same way. I'm not comparing it to WrestleMania, but I'm saying like if I had a chance to put down 10 grand to go to Vegas or 8 grand to see a brand new country, I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna do another country,
You got a point.
Totally
Yeah, very true.
That is totally fair. I have no arguments with that one.
Very true. And I don't know if you guys seen the viral video of somebody stopping Randy, I believe, in the lobby of the Fountain Blue, showing them the price they paid of the tickets. Yeah. So I think
I really think they'll be lower next year. I really do, because I've been hearing that a lot of different places, and it's been one of the things that they've really been cutting on. And like, I mean, and that was part of my argument with the tickets too. Like said, here in Detroit, all the fucking tickets for the Lions, even when we started playing good, I mean, bro, you're talking some serious cash just to go to the damn football game. So when I seen that happen with WrestleMania, even though I wasn't surprised, I'm like, damn, dude. Like, and then like the guy, matter of fact, when Cena won, the guy that was in the row in front of me, like it was like him. I think they had 2 kids and his wife or whatever. this dude lost his shit. He was like, man, I paid $8,000 for these tickets, blah, blah, blah. And we didn't even get The Rock and blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, this dude was like legit heated, flipping him off, yelling, screaming. And I heard a few people that were saying sentiments like that because of how much the tickets were, that they felt like because we didn't get that like somehow meant that they was undercut. Like you said, man, to the CM Punk match, like that entrance to the storytelling with the Paul Heyman stuff, I was loving the shit out of that because I once Bubba Dudley put that in my head because that was where I first heard somebody say the thought of it being Seth. You know what I mean? And the more I thought about it, I was like, bro, that's got to be what happens. And sure as shit, boom, boom, gets them both. And the way that crowd went, and then having Living Color play when I just seen them in concert like 2 months ago in a little concert venue here in Wyandotte and shit. And then they're playing at WrestleMania. And then Damian Priest had the guy from Slayer play him out, bro. Like I enjoyed that shit. But the price has got to come down.
But let's remember, some people pay $5,000 to $8,000 to see Travis Scott come down and punch Cody Rhodes.
Can't argue that.
I'd be upset too.
I'm saying I understand it.
Leave Travis Scott alone.
They need to leave Travis Scott alone. Let that boy go perform.
He's Iron Sheik, man.
Like, I'm not even mad that he came out, but like at least like you had to have some kind of something from The Rock, and then to hear everything, his explanation about the shit about how.
So that's actually that's a news topic we're going to talk about, but and it made me think of the Fourth Rope show that I think majority of us went to, and how they closed that show with Booker T.
I left before the end of it, bro.
Okay, well, Booker T came on the screen and pretty much called out Zilla and said, hey, I told you this was going to happen to you. Now look at you. So if you follow Fourth Rope, Booker T, obviously Reality of Wrestling, Zilla was once a champion there. There's a little bit of beef going on. He had his family member, Journey Fatu, and others attack Zilla to close the show. If there was something like that from Dwayne to close Mania, I think we'd all have a better taste in our mouth, being that Travis Scott was there, because the last time we saw Travis is the image that we got. But there was no Dwayne at all. Now, in Damage Control fashion, nothing to do with EO and others, Dwayne jumped on the Pat McAfee show yesterday, kind of explaining what was going on. And in this move, he's kind of saying that after Elimination Chamber, the final boss's work was done, which has led to a lot of speculation to, was there a disagreement in creative? Did The Rock take his ball and go home? It doesn't make sense. And I want to get you guys' take on that. Exactly. If you read between the lines, what are you hearing? Is there a power struggle between Triple H and Dwayne? It sounds like Dwayne is a Ari Emanuel guy. I think he name dropped that a lot. Was this off or not? Was there no long game? Is there no long plan? Was there, if you remember the first night of Netflix, hey, the final boss is 20 steps ahead. Was that a blatant lie? What are we getting from Dwayne?
I'm getting that him and Triple H should definitely get people to write stuff for them before they say it, because everything he said contradicted everything that he does. The 20 steps ahead. So you mean to tell me there was never a time you and Cody were going to do a match? So there was never a time we were going to have a rivalry between the two of you, is what you're saying, even though you led to this to say, I'm not done with you. And don't tell me your plan was Cena this entire time, because it wasn't. Let's just play a spade. You weren't coming to Mania. It could be busy. You could be filming a movie. Just say that. But for you to tell us the final boss is done, what was your point of coming to Elimination Chamber then? There's no way you can't tell me creative couldn't have worked Cena's heel turn without you. But you built this to make it seem like we're finna get you for a majority of this year along with this ride. And then for you to say, well, I didn't want to take from Cena's moment and make it about me. Yet you brought Travis Scott out. And that's what a lot of people are talking about now, because it was like, yo, this was it. This is all it was. It took a rapper who has no wrestling type of training or anything for that to be the distraction to get your 17 championship as much as y'all built this up. I smell BS. I smell a lot of BS going on with this. And they really need to come together. And it's like, especially if you're coming out with a whole series about the writer's room, it's like, yo, y'all better get y'all ducks in a row, because the same thing that Kyle said, it was like night one did this. Night one started like, okay. Then we got up to that triple threat match. Y'all did what y'all needed to do. Night two, we was up here. And then the main event decided, nah, we're going to go ahead and tank this at the end. To go from a triple threat match with them women who killed the show. And that's what one thing I started talking about with one of my groups. I was like, the girls should have closed the show. If that was truly going to be the ending for 17, that should have opened the show. Because the triple threat was 10 times better than the main
But do you think even in that, though, if they did that, though, like you just said, because the energy it took out at the end, if you put that at the beginning of the show, that puts the show on a hell of a downer, though. But
you had so many bangers of matches that would have brought you back. Because the fact of what y'all did with Dirty Dom in the crowd, I did not see that coming.
That Dirty Dom shit was, man, that was one of my surprises, man. I knew that match could be good, but for it to happen the way he did, and then like it was the little things in it too, like the spear from table to table on Carlito, or when you can visibly see Dom think, well, do I do it or not? Fuck him. Goes and hits him with the 619 and then goes and gets him the belt like that. You know what I mean? Like that match was a lot better. And then for it to turn into what it did on Monday, I sure as shit never thought that Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins with Paul Heyman, like, bro, 100%. That main event for night one, I feel like was like the perfect cherry on top, where with the way they did night two. And I mean, look, I gotta imagine after this, and I mean, maybe you can call it wishful thinking, but based on the booking that we've had for the most part when it's come from WWE lately, I'd like to hope that now that they hear everybody so pissed off about that like we can do a pivot, and you know what I mean? Somehow we got to get back to The Rock. I agree with you 100%, because the fact that he was that involved, you can't just have him drop off, at least in my opinion. Now, do I definitely think it should have been WrestleMania? Yes, I do. But at this point, you got what we got. I'd like to hope that you can't tell me, with as much as they talk about social media these days, that they're not going to look at social media and say, damn, people are legit pissed off. Or like you guys mentioned earlier, you think they didn't see that Randy Orton video?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Somebody's always watching.
That's my point. So I would imagine there's gotta be somehow, even if it wasn't in the plans, if The Rock really cares about it like he says he does with, TKO and all that stuff, then I would be shocked if he doesn't somehow show up. Now, how that happens at this point, I don't know, but I think it has to.
Lobo, your thoughts on Dwayne's comments on McAfee show?
Well, we'll go into more detail about the actual match if you guys want to. I didn't think it was much of a downer as everyone else did. Like, I'm very I won't say I'm an apologist, but I'm kind of like even keel when watching these shows. But there were some people walking out just upset. And I'm with you guys, because the thing about The Rock saying, I want your soul, he was the inciting incident to cause Cena to turn. It wasn't like Cena was like, I'm going to turn because I feel like it. You know what I mean? That would have sold the match. But you're saying, I want your soul. You do the 1, 2, 3, final boss. It does sound to me, based on the comments, that someone said, yo, Rocky, we want you to run down to the ring, get yourself involved and be the distraction for Cody. And either The Rock was not physically ready, or he thought that was beneath him and was like, you know what? I'm going to step back until we find something better for me. Which, hey, look, protect your character. But now Travis Scott going as slow as he can is not going to end a WrestleMania, which goes back to my thing is going, okay, if you knew that was going to end the show, and after last year, I'm not saying to do last year again. I mean, you can't get Undertaker, you can't get Stone Cold because he just almost ran down that woman an hour before.
Oh my God.
But what I'm saying is you had all that stuff before. You know it's going to be a letdown because this isn't a 4-year title reign. You got to give me something else. A fireball, like Sting from the rafters, like somebody.
Alexa Bliss fireballs.
Now Stone Cold was there. It's like,
to his point, I think another thing that could have made that better, dude, honestly, is like I think the fact that he walked so slow down to the ring and then Cena's just sitting there looking at him as he comes down this long ass ramp. Like you're telling me in all that time Cody doesn't get up and say fuck you and hit him with the finish, man. Like he walked like he was walking on a stealth mission or something. That part I could definitely see.
His song played 3 times.
Theme.
3 times. Like from 0 to the end of the track and replayed it. That's how long it took him to get down to the ring.
Hey, he's big in WWE. He has more followers on social. I get it. You know what I mean? But not in slow motion. Hey, WrestleMania has always been about celebrities. I mean, who main evented the first one? But
I'm not mad about him being involved. I just think The Rock should have been involved too, dude.
Yeah. But you're right. It made Cody look super dumb. And that's what it was. It was Cena winning was not a big deal. It was Cody looked so weak. It was like weaker than Gunter when it was all said and done. And being like, ow, it hurts. Could you let 55,000-year-old Cena beat you? Skinny leg Cena beat you? With Travis Scott? That's like AI made that ending. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And then the way the match went, because it was setting up nicely, like he hit you with the avalanche attitude adjustment, giving you the STFU. So it's like, okay, Cody's not going down easy. And it's like, okay, so what is it going to take? Because I started getting feels of, okay, this WrestleMania 17 again. Like John finna get pissed, bring out the chair, whoop his ass. And The Rock there, it's like, yo, it's perfect synergy of it. That didn't happen. And it was just like, oh, he crossroads Travis Scott and is distracted and John Cena wins. That was very Backlash PLE worthy, I guess.
Wow, Backlash? Damn,
wow. That's a Backlash ending.
Councilman.
That's a Backlash ending, if we just being honest.
So speaking of Backlash, is that where we end up next with John, considering what happened on Monday night? And were either you guys at the Raw after Monday night?
Yeah,
or sorry, Raw after Mania?
I was.
Okay. So we know John opened the show, celebrated 17, was attacked by Randy Orton. How do we feel about
I like
Orton
that.
being the
I
next
like
guy
that
up?
shit. Because the one thing I said with Cena's return is that I want to see him go against all his old rivals that he still can go against. Even if it's only for a little time. Randy Orton and John Cena. Without Randy Orton, John Cena ain't as big as he was. So to have them tangle up again now that Cena's got the title, maybe I'm just a sucker for nostalgia, but at least as far as what I want to see in his last year of his career, I want to see him in matchups that make sense more than anything. You know what I mean? Like him versus Randy makes sense to me 100 times out of 100 times. And I also like it for the standpoint of, you know, we mentioned that you had the thing with Joe Hendry. Okay. If Randy goes in there now, Randy's going for the title fresh off of fighting a guy like Joe Hendry. Well, that makes Joe Hendry losing not look so bad now, does it? Because the guy that he lost to is going for John Cena. You know what I mean? Even though Randy Orton's already got his own legacy, I just think that it helps put Randy back up there. And it also makes Joe, because I heard a lot of people complaining about that too. Like that.
Yeah.
Because Joe Hendry lost. And it's like, I don't understand that. Because, okay, so he lost to Randy Orton, who's a 14-time champion. But to his point of what he said last night on NXT, he did that in front of 60,000 people. When I was at the TNA event on Thursday, there was not 60,000 people. Great time, great show. You can check out my thoughts on BCP Plus. But like I said, I think sometimes people get a little too into it with that stuff, but I think Randy's a perfect fit for him. I think it'll be dope. And again, I still stick to what I said. I don't know how you do it, but somehow they have to bring The Rock to this again somehow. Maybe, I've heard a lot of things. I don't know if you guys can confirm it at all. I heard somewhere that like the last pay-per-view that Cena would be under his dates for was like, it was like called Ruthless Aggression or some shit. What if Cena goes through a run of his old, his old nemesis or whatever? Because and that's the other thing from Raw. He said he only had the 36 dates. He's already down to 27.
Yeah.
So that means we're not going to see him all the time either. So if you let him break off for a minute and have him fight Orton, and then I don't know, just go down the list of whoever's next after that. Have Cody have a couple good feuds in between there with whoever you put him against, and then you bring back The Rock, and then you can tie the whole shit up. But at this point, that's the only real way I can see that going.
Flobo, thoughts on Randy being the first one up?
Yeah, to Kyle's point, I mean, he is the presumptive number one contender. He beat a world champion on Sunday. Yeah, why not give us that? I mean, look, you got Cena on his retirement tour. We don't know how long we have of Randy, at least a year, maybe two. This is something that, yes, can be a nostalgic, and yes, WWE has always done that. I remember the days in the 90s when they brought back Nikolai Volkov and Bob Backlund out of nowhere. So I'm not even mad at that part. Sergeant Slaughter. What I am kind of upset about is that now, because I assume Cena, Orton, and Cody are all SmackDown talents, is that Cody's going to go to a feud with Travis Scott? Like, what's Cody going to do? He's the guy with the biggest pops right now. I want to see Randy and John. Yeah, I can't think of anyone hanging around that roster that can make Cody have a decent side quest where I'm not going, what are we doing this for? You know what I'm saying? Solo? Because he didn't have a match.
You know what? I know he's not catapulted there yet, but I would not mind seeing a side quest with LA Knight.
Face versus face? Okay.
I can see that, because especially hindering the title picture, I think having him go up against Cody could be something. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Drew is going to be his name. The trolling Drew is about to be.
Okay, that makes sense. If that's the case, then I'm with that. But if Cody's going to have a set with, like, I don't know, like Tongaloa or something, if he's not injured.
Tongaloa is injured and might have surgery.
Okay, yeah. I just don't want a step down for someone who could be still heated up to be your champ.
Yeah. I think Drew is his smartest bet for that, to be able to go through that.
So this might be tinfoil hat, but since we talked about the Raw after Mania, dude, did anybody else besides me get Dangerous Alliance vibes off of this shit? Like, immediately the thing that popped into my head, especially with Becky turning 2, and the reason I bring this up is I feel like Drew would be a dope last member to it, but I think Becky plays the Medusa spot. But all that stuff on Raw, dude, it was like immediately the thing that popped in my head. Are they gonna do a new Dangerous Alliance with this shit?
I don't know, because Becky's is kind of shake weighty as far as heel go. Because right now it just really seemed like frustration was shown.
But she still beat up the babyface.
Yeah, but also too, that could just be between that one right there. That doesn't necessarily make her the heel. It just made her frustrated.
Yeah, you dropped the title in 24 hours.
Yeah, so it's really how they play it.
And also, I think that also makes not so much maybe Liv, but I know for Raquel, she's the most decorated women's tag team champion in the company.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What does that even mean, Sid?
It's an accomplishment.
It's like the most decorated division. You're the most decorated person in the most decorated division.
It's boat status. You know what I'm saying?
My bad.
It's the boat.
I mean, the Dudleys talk about being 23-time champs, so...
Well, Councilman ripped the Mandate off, so we're going to move right into the boat, much to my chagrin. Nikki Bella was recently on Busted Open Radio talking to Natalya. She's new to the Busted Open Radio family, saying that a comeback is indeed in the works, that she's waiting on her sister to band with her, but that she does plan to get back in the ring. Where do you guys think she fits into the division nowadays? We saw her at the Royal Rumble, and I'll jump ahead a little bit. She was actually called out by the United States champion, Chelsea Green, as well, saying that SummerSlam is right around the corner. And she said she wants Nikki Bella. She wants to see if Nikki is still giving Fearless, because she's giving Diva. She's giving a number of things and would like that challenge. Flobo, I'll start with you.
Love it. I am not a Bella fan at all. I don't understand the I won't say that the love, but the need to bring them back all the time. However, over the past 6 months, you split the women's divisions. Now there's a U.S. title and an IC title, and Chelsea Green is doing a lot of heavy lifting for that secondary women's division on her side. Even though I like Lyra, I don't think she's hit nearly as hard. You really need people in the lower card now to make that division worth checking out. I want to be like, oh wow, it's a women's IC title match, not it's Lyra's belt. So yeah, bring them back, have those solo runs, have the tag team runs. Again, another division we don't really talk about enough. Fill that card all you want because they have the bodies, but they don't really have the nostalgia acts the men's do, and that gets older lapsed fans back into the sport.
Councilman, I know you were very vocal about Chelsea Green not being on the card. She's calling her shot against Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella is tabbed for a return. We don't know when, but it's going to happen. What are your thoughts on the Bella twins being back in the company for a final? I'm assuming it's going to be a final run. And then Chelsea Green pretty much still elevating that title in that division.
I don't care.
I don't care, man.
Because we know what it's for. Will it be a great sale? Absolutely. I hope it happens at SummerSlam. I hope they give Chelsea her just due, put her on SummerSlam for the first ever 2 nights against Nikki Bella. It's going to sell tickets. The Bella twins winning the tag titles, like a belts that they never had during their division, but being able to be put in that history, I completely understand. Do I want to see Brie Bella knock somebody out by accident again like she did Liv? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not ready for that. Am I ready to watch Nikki Bella do push-ups? No. Now she faces John Cena for the title. Then we got something. Like now y'all using your head, right?
Wow.
Now we starting something.
You can do that 2K now, but I don't know.
But if you played the island, you already know you had to fight them all. Hell, I had to fight Charlotte. I had to fight Live on there. If that could have very well happened on the video game, but I don't know, man. I'm not mad at it. To be honest, I'm not mad at them bringing her back. I mean, to your point, especially now that you have the women's division the way it is and that they have the secondary titles, I think Chelsea Green's entertaining as shit. Like, I'm just saying, I think Chelsea Green is entertaining as shit, and I am all like, I can only imagine the dumb stuff that she would come up with to try to come at the Bellas like that. And so ultimately, if they can come back and be able to do it at a high level, which I would assume is why Brie is trying to take time to get back in shape and all that stuff. As long as it's done well, I'm not mad at it. If it comes back and it ends up being a thing where it's only like a few minute thing, you know what I mean? Or like, they get in the ring, it's a quick win, boom, bam, and it's over with. Well, then I feel like it's kind of for nothing. But if you do it the right way and build it the right way, and Natalya, I want to see what we saw in Bloodsport and WWE. Damn it, that's what the hell I want to see. But as far as the Bellas, I'm not mad at it as long as they do it the right way. But I appreciate you guys having me in. I gotta go catch this appointment real quick here in a few minutes. But if I end up cutting out, I will be around.
Let the good people know how we can support you and find all your work.
Hey, man, you can check us out. Knockouts and 3 Counts every Tuesday, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow night, myself, J-Bone, and our buddies Ant and Ken from the Potters of Destiny will be talking about our week at WrestleMania as they were with me at the Raw Aftermania. I know next week we are going to have some pro boxing action on the show. I'm doing some commentary for Clip MMA. You can also catch me on Legends of Combat May 10th, calling the main event, which includes the godson of one Rashad Evans, Devin Smith, who's a past guest of our show. So whether it's on commentary, whether it's on Knockouts and 3 Counts, you can check us out on all your platforms, Millions, bodyslam.net. I run my mouth a lot of places. But I'm always a fan of the WWT fam. Shout out to TK. It was great to see you at the Remix Rumble, said you and Councilman as well. I definitely will have to come back through. You guys got to come back to Knockouts and 3 Counts. I mean, shit said it's probably been since we used to be on Blue Wire that you were on the show.
Citing my age, because I was probably like 5-6 years ago. But,
where does that leave me, motherfucker? I'm 32. You know what I mean? Where the fuck does that leave me in the grand scheme of things? I mean, now if I just got to pause my age for 5 years, that'd be cool. But unfortunately, that ain't how it works.
I'll just tell them that I was a part of the blip. I
was a part of the blip.
I don't feel so good, Sid.
Oh shit!
But no, you mentioned speaking. I mean, I can't believe none of you guys are a part of the Bella army. I mean, we're missing the lead here with the Bellas versus the Secret Herberts.
I said I was cool with it
leading
as
up
long
to
as
it.
they do it good. That's my whole thing. I just want it done well. I don't want to see it be like something where they rush through it and then it's a 5-minute match. If they bring them back and you actually build it up, you know what I mean? I'm cool with that because again, I feel like Chelsea Green entertains the shit out of me. So, like, if you give it the time and let them do whatever they're going to come up with for that, then hell yeah, I'm with it. If it ends up just being a quick shove it in here so it can work for SummerSlam, we'll see.
Okay. You did mention another thing. You mentioned the self-proclaimed best of all time. She was in action in Bloodsport last week against.
Love that shit.
And she's
and
making
she
a lot
beat
of
up
rounds.
Kenzie
She's a
Page.
part of the Busted Open Radio family. She took on Mayu Yamashita in Bloodsport. Very hard-hitting match. Used her actual government name, Natty Neidhart, in the lead up. Flanked in kind of boxing gear. Very hard-hitting match. New tagline, low-key legendary. A lot of different imagery for Natalya that we haven't seen in the past decade.
Yes.
Is this something that she should be using as a gimmick in WWE?
Yes.
I think she's trying to remind the writers' room in WWE all that she can offer. And she said she wants Mayu in the WWE to wrestle matches like that, which, I mean, if you look at Bird Lady, there is a market for it that you can kind of.
And they already did the Underground. I hope so. They already did the Underground. That's my whole point. We've seen it in NXT and the main roster.
The Underground, by the way. Just
maybe so, but have her go back now and beat the shit out of somebody. Like,
I mean, ain't gonna be Lola.
Yeah, it's Lola's match. You got the only person who does is Lola.
No, I agree with that.
Thorpe going to be Eddie Thorpe and Natty Neidhart.
Well, no, but I'm saying, she better try that. You've seen. I mean, I'm just saying. I loved what we saw from Natty, especially because anybody that knows anything about the Hearts knows that she could seriously tie up a bunch of them in knots. Not Lola and probably not Shayna Baszler, but the point being, Natty's one of the toughest ones in there. And to all of our points, the way that she's been booked over the last 10 years has kind of taken a lot of that shine off. And I feel like what we saw at Bloodsport reminded a lot of people of that. I hope that we see more of that because I think even if it wasn't like a push to the world title, I think it would make a lot of people take Natty a lot more seriously, especially a lot of the younger fans. You know, how many of them didn't see Natty when Natty was doing what Natty did and was champion and all that stuff? This reminds people. And, you know, like you always hear people talk about in wrestling, it gives people a fresh coat of paint. I think it's a revamp to Natty. You could still have her have the heart colors, but have a little bit different gear. You know, have a little bit different look. To your point, maybe they start calling her Natty Neidhart again. You know, and just have her go on a spree of just beating the shit out of people for a minute.
I actually don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me.
I disagree with keeping the heart colors. I think that's what's, to me, that's what's holding her back.
Okay, then go all black like she did at Bloodsport.
I liked her get up at Bloodsport. It makes me
hell that's fine. Even if that's what you're gonna do,
I'm saying on to the Heart name and everything, and like
why Bret Hart does it? Why can't she? Bret does it all the time.
Because when we think about Bret, he's like 1A, 1B with being the greatest of all time as far as.
So you're saying that he's not one of the best of all time?
As far as women go, dude, there ain't many people besides the other one that I named was Shayna Baszler, or like when Ronda was there, as far as being a grappler, that are more able to tie people up than Natty.
Yeah. But this
problem is like when I watch okay, man, I'm this women's wrestling talk. I'm trying to be kind. You want to be sports entertained.
It's her lineage. Even if you may not even like it, you will say, okay, she's part of the Hart family. She's earned that color, that royal color pink. It doesn't have to be all pink get up, but it can be.
I'm not even mad if you do like what said and do all the black. Like do all black like you did at Bloodsport. Fine, I'm okay with that. But still, I still want to see more of that Natty Neidhart. Whatever you make it, you want her to stay like she is?
Here's the reason why. Because to change the whole Bloodsport thing, you're implying that it's not working as it is right now. And the question is, why wasn't it working? Because she wasn't seen. If she had matches and she won, and
I'm not
beat
arguing
people
that
up,
point at all. I'm just saying it gives her a fresh look and a reason for them to put her back on TV. Because to your point, you know, it was because she wasn't seen. Okay, she hadn't been seen in a while, but if she comes back with a new look, beats shit out of everybody, it'll make people look at it different.
Yeah, but if the new look is all black, what is the new look at all? That's my question. Like, what's if you come back more generic, that's not a new coat of paint at all.
You know what I would like to see just in contrast? You know what they were doing with Marina Shafir earlier on when she was the problem?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a perfect character switch for Natty. If you want to do it in like WWE portrayal, I would like to see something like that.
But she also needs the Mercedes Moné route. Like if you get Natty to be like the NWA Women's Champion, the TNA
that would be dope
champions, and 2 more belts, and she really start walking around with, look, I'm the boat. There ain't nothing none of y'all can tell me, and they let her come out with all them belts. That would put a lot of people on notice and have Natty doing a lot of screen time. No, if you give her the performance that she gave, like I don't even say change the attire up, but we need that aggression in the ring.
I don't disagree, and maybe because I'm old and jaded, but I feel like Natalya's role in WWE is not to do that. It's because she's such a good level 1 boss for everyone else. Now, if you want her to move up the card, she doesn't have to change her uniform to do it. She can still do it. It's just that when she's so safe, they say, look, we're going to put you in a rookie. Of course, you can't beat people in the head if they are an NIL graduate with 8 months of experience. You know, I don't quite get the whole change, the visual change.
See,
It's a good match, by the way.
This is what we need. We need Natty to choke out Rhea Ripley.
Whoa! No one will
just
buy that
out of nowhere. Just
that'd
out
be
of
a big statement.
Mm-hmm.
Rhea doing her promo, she come out of nowhere and choke out, and she sleep. That put Natty on it, and then just start doing that randomly with people, and just come choking them out like, yo, y'all gonna respect me. I'm a heart. You gonna respect me.
I mean, if that's the character arc where it's like, hey, you need to respect me. I've been in this game longer than everybody else. I can buy that. And I think when we have like WWE Unreal and stuff like that comes out, if it leans to more storylines like that, where it's like maybe she's been trying to pitch these ideas and they're like, oh no, we want you to take this youngin' under your wings. Like, oh no, we want you to dress more provocative, blah blah blah. I think that will allow people to see like the struggle that she's had in trying to, I guess, identify her character with the fans. Because I think that's missing right there. Is like, where's the relatability? And it's kind of, for me, it's like always falling back on, well, like, I'm a heart. It's like, I know, but what else? And
hold on. What's the relatability of Lola Vice? Sir, what is the relatability of Lola Vice? You're telling somebody who has, okay, I'm not even a Bret Hart fan, but the Hart family.
I know you're not.
Hold on. Because I feel like the Natalya slander has to stop. She had a great match on Bloodsport. She came out with different costumes. Everyone was like, she should go and beat people. But no one cared about her before, and she was doing it forever. And it's not Bloodsport's fault. It's because when there's talent in the ring, you're distracted doing something else. You are the Lola Vice advocate. Lola Vice literally has said and has gotten raked in promos for showing off one thing in her Instagram reels. She was an MMA fighter with a terrible record, and you're saying she's...
Whoa. She has a winning record. She has a winning record.
It wasn't flawless. And you're telling me she's relatable? Cedric, what are we doing here?
At MMA. The thing is,
it wasn't undefeated?
No, she's not undefeated. She has one loss. I think it was a sub loss. By the way, she has highlight reel knockouts. But still, I feel like the relatability is that you can lean into that, but I don't know why they're not leaning into her MMA career outside of like back fists and stuff. And obviously she's an attractive person, so I think they're trying to lean into more of that before we. With the edge. I don't know. She's still defining the character, and that's the unfortunate part where I feel like you have people that have kind of surpassed your Lola Vices and Jada Parkers, Kalani Jordans, and things like that, to where they just have more experience in like Jordan Grace, Bakor. They have more experience in their character work, which will get over very faster. But the thing with Natty is and for me, it's like we see the same thing all the time.
Okay.
There's not like, and like if we give Charlotte the same flack for that, there hasn't been much character development with Natty as well.
So you're not gonna say it? You're not gonna say it?
Say what?
Natty's boring. That's the difference. Natty is boring. Natty is boring.
Which is still boring last weekend, though. Will that solve it? If you give her an all black, will that make her interesting?
No, I don't think it would. I don't think it would. Like, it is really just like you, like he said, it's no character development there. In ring, I have no problem watching Natty. I will watch Natty matches all day if you paid me to. Not just like I got up and was like, yo, it's Natty Hart time. But I wouldn't sit here and complain. If you paid me to. But with everything else, it's just you know what it is? It's kind of the same thing with Lola in certain ways. Like, Lola makes a better heel than she does a face. And that's the thing that they're trying to stray away from, is like making her like this face. And it's like, nah, bro, make her a heel. Let her beat people up.
I think, Flobo, what I would say from the clips I saw at Blitzworks, I didn't have to get a chance to be there, but I believe that Natty. I don't believe the pink and black Natty.
So I don't. Okay, this is now this is why I feel like we're having a bit of a disconnect, right? You're saying she's boring, and I don't necessarily agree or disagree. But the hill I'm dying on is saying she's boring. But your solution to her not being boring is wear black and choke people out. We see people do that before with other characters. That gets boring super quick. No one's asking for Lord Tensai no more. How is that going to make her more interesting and less boring? Is my question.
Because she'll win. I think.
Wins? That's it.
Hey,
literally, she'll start winning. Like I don't want to hear Natty talk. I just want to hear her work. She'll start.
Wow. Yeah. Shout out to WWT.
And also, I'm glad you reminded me of that, Flobo. We know. I don't want to say completely anti, but I need to have you on here for like the anti-Bret debate with Honey, who is like a Bret Hart stan.
Everyone loves Bret Hart. Yeah.
No, they don't.
Oh, you're one of the good ones? All right, bet.
Yeah. You should have put, like I said, he should have put his hands up. Maybe he'd still be here.
That's what I'm saying.
I love Bret Hart, but
with the
you know who else we love? On. We love. Yeah, I do have the shirt on. That was a bad time to say that. We love Bayley, and Bayley just did an interview with Chris Van Vliet. Kind of, we don't know. I don't know when it was actually shot, but we know Bayley got pulled from the Mania program. A lot of people are down on that. We do know she's injured, but we did get some nice tidbits in the interview about how long she has left on her contract, which is like 1.5 years. But she did cite that there's always been this tug of war with the writer's room as far as like ideas she has. And she was very vulnerable in the interview, saying that she almost doesn't want to feel bad for pushing an idea up the flagpole that will get torn down. She just likes to take what she gets and make the most of it. Also, that her creative genius in her mind has so many things she wants to do. She says she wants to be in a romantic angle. She wants to work with so many people, and that she just wants to give that much back to the wrestling industry because it's given back to her. Did you guys get a chance to catch the interview at all, or any clips? And like, what do you take from Bayley just on a personal level that you got from that, with everything that's going on, everything we know as far as like this being the plan for her for Mania, and like pretty much all the love and adulation she's got as a result of just being a pro?
Yeah, I think the things we even heard from her, like when trying to get like damage control to like get off the ground, and how long it really took for that to happen. Like, it just like shows to like what she wants to do. Like, she wants to, kind of in the words of Cena, like leave the place better than she found it. And I think you do start to see that. But too, like, I think she is right. Like, we saw the dramatic changes within a majority of the 4 horsewomen. And it kind of took a little bit for Bayley to get there. You know, it's I don't want to call it politics because I'm not sure about that, but it's just like you can see it. Like, you got the nepotism with Charlotte, so we know she get that extra attention. I thought that's why I was like, let me do mine first, because I feel like Flobo finna go.
I'm good. I'll be good. I swear.
No. This is the place. Do it. Get on your soapbox and go. But that, you know, Mercedes being related to Snoop Dogg, it was always something of like, and then of course Becky being Charlotte's best friend. So it's like, you know, oh, we'll pay attention to them, and it's just like, okay, we'll leave you here to do this. And then it's always kind of like, it seems like Bayley gets the short ends of the stick, but she's done what she's what she's been able to do with what she's been given and stuff. But I think now she is kind of at that point where it's like, you can either keep shoveling shit or start waving your big stick around because you are a legend in the locker room now. You have made history here, and I think it's time. Like, if you have such a very great creative brain, don't let it go to waste by just playing ball.
Now, one thing I know about Flobo, and I wish he was here for our four horsewomen debate, is that Bailey is his number one.
Also, he is one of the good ones. Like he said, he's one. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so
yes,
Flobo being one of Bailey's biggest advocates. What are your thoughts on like this whole sphere containing her now?
I was a Bailey day one. I bought her PWI, which is the number one woman in the world. Like, I'm a Bailey fan. In fact, people call me Heel Beto because one day on AfterBuzz I cut a promo on how she was overlooked, and I get it because for a long time she was seen as the fourth horsewoman. But as someone who was a fan of her from day one, I knew. But if you didn't come around when she sliced those Bailey buddies up, if you didn't come around when she basically put the pandemic era on her back and just cut on Michael Cole week in and week out, ding dong hello. If you didn't go for Bailey when they had the lightning strike at WrestleMania 36 and she was a host of that and had to fill time, then I don't know what to tell you. And I understand Bailey because you see Becky go and do the man and main event, and Charlotte, she's a flair, and you're like, look, I'll do what I can because I'm happy to be here because people have lost their jobs. People like Mercedes were so frustrated they had to go. But at the end of the day, no one's really respecting Bailey because she's that much good of a worker. You look at guys like Dolph Ziggler, or even Ken Shamrock, the guys who just put out there and had matches. Nobody really respects them until they either get loud or leave. And so I'll give her all the props in the world for saying that Chris Van Vliet, and hopefully people see it. But I knew from jump the past 2 years, Damage Control wasn't a thing until Bailey started taking L's for the team. Imagine that. Imagine you are the leader of the stable and you're saying, okay, I'll be the level one boss to make sure everyone else looks better in my own stable. That never happens. And you know what I'm saying? Like, she put that whole division on her back, man. And I'm glad people are coming around on her because she deserves it.
What are you guys' thoughts about who she wanted to be in Damage Control originally, citing Toni Storm, Raquel Rodriguez, and Alba Fire?
That'd have been fire. I'm not gonna lie, no pun intended, but that would have been ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I think it goes back to the same thing though. Would she have still had to been the person that got to take the L's? And so I think that's the thing too of just like that's the role that she's starting to get stuck in. It's like, okay, I'm helping to build this place, and would it still go over as well?
Well, not to beat a dead horse, but we kind of know what broke the back that made Toni want to leave the company. I'm assuming that she knew far beyond, like, hey, like, I want this person here from NXT in my faction. I want this person from NXT UK to be in my faction. And maybe they work with each other behind the scenes, like, hey, when they come up, I want to work with them. So that just speaks to maybe how long she's probably been advocating for women in the back. And we know that's not always done at a top level. For somebody that Bailey, I think she's the correct me if I'm wrong, Boza or Flobo, out of the women's Grand Slam champion, she's the first.
I think she is first. Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she's the first.
I know she's first. Yep.
Okay, so she has a lot of pull, and it seems like she's trying to pull up people with her. Mm-hmm. So for this to happen to her at Mania, for whatever reason, I kind of agree with the councilman. Like, sometimes you gotta just put it on the table and be like, hey, like, no, I'm not doing that. I have too much credibility in this game, and no, I want to do this, make it happen, or I'm just not gonna. I won't be here, type of thing.
Yeah,
I don't think it's above Bailey to do that, but I get her being the team player as well.
I also think that the fear too, like Mercedes, yeah, she landed in AEW. I'm not sure if she's getting paid, but like that really, there's some people talking about how much ore she has, but that's a very small needle to thread. AEW today wasn't AEW 2 years ago. So even if Bailey's like, I'm gonna go, you really much have to have that Matt Cardona, Cody Rhodes plan, or else you may not be the same. And so it could be like I'm gonna be a company person, but how many times have I watched you lose on Friday night? You go to Raw Monday and lose there too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
And then too, like having unfinished stories. Like you get this great build with you and Roxanne, and then it's like, oh no, we're gonna throw Julie a triple threat match, and then we just not gonna go back to that. Like,
oh, for real.
So what was the point? Because like, let's not sit here and act like Bailey is not a part of one of the top 5 greatest NXT matches of all time, which is the Iron Women Challenge with her and Sasha. Let's act like this woman is not a staple of NXT. And it's like, yo, like, why are y'all rolling it out like this? But I think, too, it also goes with, like, she's a huge fan of the company. Like, she's been a part of it since she was a kid. And so it's like, that's why even, too, when people are just like, oh, her contract's up, she's going to go to AEW. It's like, no, she's not. Like, she's not leaving the fucking company. Like, at all. This is where she wants to be. This is where she wants to end it. If she wants to go do other things, great. But hopefully with her being able to take some time off, if she decides to, hopefully creators start seeing like, okay, hey, like, what do you want to do when you come back? And Bayley can go like, hey, this is what I see. This is where I see it going. This is what I would like to do. Because if Charlotte can just come back and win the Royal Rumble out of nowhere, it's like, yo, Bayley, I know you got that same juice now. And it's time
especially if there's a way we're seeing like such bidding war and territorialism with buying companies. Like if there's a snowball's chance in hell that maybe TKO buys New Japan, I would love to see Bayley in like a New Japan run, if possible, or international run.
Yeah,
because if she's all about growing the industry of women's wrestling, like I think she'd be a perfect fit for that.
Yeah, as a performer, that's the one thing I miss. I'm not a big black and gold go back in time person, but when Finn Balor had that same issue and went back to NXT, just to have that run, to have 25-minute matches bell to bell, week in and week out, I think Bayley would love that. Go back to the peak heyday instead of having these 8-minute 2 commercial break matches where she loses anyway.
Yeah, something's got to give there. More WrestleMania news. I don't know if you guys saw, but it's confirmed that Bianca Belair did break some fingers in the result of the WrestleMania match. I don't know if she'll be out for a bit of time or maybe just doing promo works. I mean, I've never broken a finger, but do you think that affects her at all?
As far as like career wise?
No, like in the immediate aftermath, because while she was pinned by Io in the match, I have to believe there's more immediate plans for her. Like when we talk about Naomi, when we talk about Jade, they think there's still loose ends there.
Well, yeah, because she's on SmackDown, right? Like, if memory serves, she's drafted to SmackDown. So I think that's kind of it. It just goes back now to, like you just said, the SmackDown stories with Jade, Naomi, and stuff. And I think that's probably, now that you said, that's probably what's going to gear up Naomi's next rivalry is between her and Bianca. And that's, you know, like you switched up on me. You decided to choose her, not me. So now we got to have a match. But I think she'll be fine. I think she deserves a break as well, just because I get it, but I'm still not down with this booing Bianca.
Nah, I'm with you.
I'm not down with that. I get story-wise because it was the three of them. Someone got to be the antagonist. I'm not going to say bad guy, the antagonist of it, but I don't like that y'all booing her when she now starts to get to be herself and not having to play a black woman. And now all of a sudden we getting boos because she ain't being apologetic to everybody or being this this. It's like, no, let her get her money.
I sat in the crowd and I was like, yo, why y'all boo? She's doing her job. But the Tim was right told me, like, hey man, you know, someone's gotta be, but I go, y'all didn't boo last night for Seth or CM Punk or Roman. Y'all cheered all 3 of those dudes. Mm-hmm. That to me was just came out of nowhere for me. And like, yeah, right. I know she made a break and help her out, but the boos really made me go, why are y'all mad?
This is Glasgow's fault. That's what this is. This is Scotland's fault.
Yep.
This is all y'all fault. You started this.
It's a really nasty trend, if I'm being honest. So maybe some time away would help Bianca, just because like I get tired of hearing the boos too. Like it makes no sense.
Not at all. Not at all. But yeah, I think it'll help. I think they need to miss Bianca again for it to happen. Because the fact you boo her with everything she did, especially the intro, like the way she came out, I'm like, yo, this woman came out in a robe made of roses that I am 98% sure she made.
Oh, she did. She posted a video about how it was made today.
Yo, her stepdaughter got to be in front of 60,000 people performing. Hey, y'all sitting here booing? Like, what's wrong with y'all? What are we doing? Like, what are we doing right now?
Insane.
Answer the man.
But white privilege Rhea decides she want to be in here, and we just, oh, let's go for the girl who's culture appropriating Hispanic culture, and she's from New Zealand. We gonna cheer the crap out of her. I'm like, all right.
Hey, she's from Adelaide, South Australia. She's not from New Zealand. That's a different country, man. I'm with you.
I'm only doing that because Dylan's in here. Dylan is our producer from the future, and he lives in Australia.
All right, I still want to get into like my brief review of Monday Night Raw, but I see Courtney in the chat, so I want to give her a shout out. She'll be doing her AEW Dynamite watch along at the top of the hour. A lot of stuff on Dynamite as we are in New Orleans for the night. We got the Young Bucks taking on Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight. Women's Owen Hart Cup semifinal, Jamie Hayter versus Chris Statlander. I believe the winner of that is going to take on Mercedes Moné. The Don Callis family will be making an appearance. FTR will be returning from suspension from their actions a week ago. We're going to get, for the first time ever, Mark Briscoe taking on Ricochet, as well as a special appearance by one man known as Master P. Percy Miller is going to be in the building tonight, owner of House of Glory Wrestling, which gives me very, very much WCW vibes. You remember the rivalry with Kurt Hennig and them with the I Hate Rap. I know we ain't going to hear that, but if we can hear that, you're going to make 15-year-old Cedric very happy if Master P picks up a mic. But that's your AEW Dynamite preview. You can watch at the top of the hour with Courtney Rice and get all your AEW facts with her. Anything about that card stand out to you guys? Have you guys been following the product and the matches there? I know Double or Nothing to be here in about a month from today in Glendale, Arizona.
I'm going to tread lightly because I'm not trying to disparage the legacy. But with AEW's calendar the way it is, I'm not seeing the appeal of the Owen Hart Cup. I feel like it should be one night. I feel like that should be a pay-per-view. The whole month thing saying we're honoring Owen, we never worked for the company, has always been weird for me. But hey, look, AEW is doing it. They're going the pure wrestling route. I love the counter programming. Maybe a solid episode of Dynamite tonight. You got mid privileges? Wait, you don't care about Dynamite or AEW or the pay-per-view?
If you're listening to audio, Councilman just put on the ticker, I don't care, followed by a bunch of exclamation points. So I'm sorry, Courtney. I'm sorry, Courtney. I think that's a personal.
No.
Because you don't watch NXT.
Courtney know what she did. Courtney know what she did. Until she watches NXT, I'm not watching AEW. She knows we are in a battle right now. Wow. Until she starts watching the black and silver brand, I refuse to watch anything on AEW.
NXT is the best brand of wrestling right now.
I mean, one thing they have going for them that I'm interested in is like the back and forth between MJF and the Hurt Syndicate. If they're going to allow MJF to join, what the end game is there. I think that's one of the side programs that's very, very fun. On top of like, I know people don't like the whole Death Riders thing. I get it, but you got to have something push the story forward. And I think behind the scenes, since Swerve did not get the championship, maybe that signals that you finally get Bryan Danielson returning at some point. They do have a big show with a lot of seats to fill in Texas over the summer. Maybe that's how they're billing it, but you never know. You never know. I think loose ends are starting to get tied a little bit here and there, while we know Mercedes is going to win the tournament and she's going to beat Toni Storm in Texas. Like that's not a spoiler.
Crazy.
That's not a spoiler. Like it's going to happen.
Wow. Where's she going to put that belt? That girl's so small. Where's she going to put that belt in?
My prediction is that she beats Toni Storm and she takes Luther, and Luther carries the belts for her.
Yo, that'd be
my prediction.
Wow.
That's just my prediction. Like
this guy's booking Luther, y'all, in 2025.
Right? And I know you want that Daniel Bryan for it, but we already know what's happening.
CEO need employees. Luther, step on up, man. Like,
we know it's gonna be Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin in fucking Texas, because you know that's what they aiming for. That's what they want.
Okay, I want to Courtney, cover your ears. I want to ask Flobo this, because like there's characters in wrestling that I don't understand.
Okay, Darby
Allin is one of them.
Yes.
I think I've heard Councilman over the past week in person say that Darby's their biggest babyface. And like I need to see the proof. I don't believe it. So what do you think about that?
I think that Darby is one of their baby. If I was writing the novel of AEW Dynamite, I think if I had a list of the good people and the faces and stuff, Darby's top 2, top 3. You know, he's not my favorite. For that, I gotta put that out there. He's not my favorite. I don't get excited for his matches, but the appeal of Darby is someone who's crazily resilient. He's the X-Pac of AEW. Here's somebody who should be destroyed, but he keeps coming back, and he has a certain aesthetic, the old emo thing that some people, when they're younger, identify with as being an outsider. So, like, he has the elements. I would say almost too clean of the elements, you know what I'm saying? Like, but he's like cold cuts, you know. But the idea is that he's someone who is an outsider, who's small, who's undersized, can be compared to Jeff Hardy for an old head and like him a lot, but who gets beat up and shows up a lot. So I understand. I don't get it, but I understand.
Okay.
Let's not disrespect X-Pac like that, though.
I'm not disrespecting him. I'm just saying, like, here's a small person who should be killed, but he comes back every week. X-Pac. It's like, yo, how?
Now, Gilbert.
So he's ultimate underdog, if you would.
Come on, don't say Gilbert. Come on.
Okay, I'm sorry. Spike Dudley.
Well, Spike Dudley got the hardcore champs, but yeah, man. Damn.
So Darby Allin is AEW's Oof-2, underdog from the underground.
I mean, come on.
Hey, now that's what WrestleMania got right. Mick Foley Jr. not on the card. You finally got something right. Thank you for that.
That's a good transition as well. But Flobo, your thought? You finish your thoughts on Darby?
I was going to say it's almost like Jey Uso, man. I feel like people over the age of 29 are like, Jey Uso, I don't know why he won, but the kids were going nuts, man. Mike's like, mommy, Jey Uso's my guy. Like, oh, I get it, because when I was a kid, I loved Tatanka. The Tatankas are nobody's top 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, the next generation's here. So props to Darby for being around.
Jay made sense. That was a WrestleMania moment we all knew was coming. So it's like, make it happen. If you don't do it here, it's never going to happen. So I was content on exactly that right there. How do you not get a shot of 60,000 people doing that? Come on. It makes all the sense in the world.
And then he did have his championship celebration on Monday, and the first person to congratulate him was Sami Zayn, which, as a viewer, I have a problem with, because I saw Sami Zayn get hospitalized at Elimination Chambers. I don't know how he's back so soon. But what were you guys thought about that moment that he shared in the ring with Sami and then his brother?
The only thing I wish would have happened, and I thought it was going to happen, I thought Roman was going to come out. Like, for some reason, I felt the setup of, like, Roman is going to come out and also congratulate Jay. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Well, Roman was there.
I know.
We now know he was there.
Yeah, I thought my tribal chief was coming out and was going to acknowledge his cousin. But, you know, he didn't. And then I thought Sami was going to turn on him, which was like, okay.
You see how conditioned we are to the heel turn? That we can't have nice things?
Because the thing is, I didn't get why they were both out there. So I'm just like, okay, well, it's a celebration. So
I feel like how y'all feel about Darby, I feel about Sami. So he comes out, whatever. And the ska music comes out, whatever. He talks, all right. Like, it's fine.
Have this man on here more. I like this man's thought process.
Yeah, me too. I'm with it. I just props to Sami. You know,
okay, I can take the Bret Hart slander in stride. I that's fine. He wasn't for everybody, but how does Sami not make you guys emote? How?
He does make me emote. Throw up emoji.
Yeah, remote emoji. Yeah.
Eye roll emoji.
All right, we'll do this another time.
I'm just letting you know.
Sami's a great wrestler, man.
Oh, yeah. But is he relatable? No.
He's underdog. Underdog that can actually work.
No, he's not. No, you're not an underdog anymore. Like, you're not.
Thank you. Someone finally said it. How many times are you gonna win? Be like, I didn't have nothing. Shut up.
Yeah, he literally was like an original NXT champion that hasn't had a major title in the company. Well, the big title in the company yet. He's still climbing. Like, you
cannot be an underdog if you main evented WrestleMania. You and your dumb Scott track. Come on, man.
You ended Gunther's reign as one of the longest reigns as IC champion. You're not an underdog anymore, bro. Like, you are up there with being a legend. You are looked up in the locker room. Like, bro, start acting like it. Like, show these people, because he is a great wrestler, to your point, Mayor. But it's like, yo, can you act like it? Like, yo, people really can't hold your jock strap in the ring. Show that. Don't be sitting here like you just gonna get your ass. Like, no, bro, because I would have loved to see that between him and Gunther, and I would not have thought that was unrealistic for them going chop for chop. Be like, yo, bro, you are the man, and you don't act like it, and that's what pisses me off about him.
Yeah, and the stupid Sonic 3 sounding theme song. What?
No.
Let's
go back to catering. Yes.
I want you guys to keep that same rhetoric for Finn Balor.
Hold on now. Let's not do that.
Whoa, why?
It's the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. Sir, no, it is
Sammy,
not the same
Sammy ain't
thing.
never gave me the demon. Sammy ain't never.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Inaugural Universal Champion, and like, what are you doing?
He got hurt, man. That ain't his fault. And then you already know how Vince is with smaller guys, so we know why they was booking him like that.
They like the same size.
I will say the difference between Finn Balor and Sami Zayn that doesn't annoy me about Finn is that Finn Balor never is like, I never got the opportunity, but tonight I'm gonna try really hard. He doesn't do that. No. Sammy does it every time, man.
I'm going to use my grit, and I'm not going to give up. I'm going to make sure I get up and I win for everybody in the WWE. Shut up. Whoa. Every time he on stage, I'm just, get off. At least Finn, he going to be like, I'm the prince, and I will become world heavyweight champion. And I'm just like, yo, even if he lose, he got me excited.
I'm in, yeah.
I'm in.
Wow. Oh, wow. Speaking of Finn, they did get involved in our final match tonight. Penta taking on Dominic Mysterio, new Intercontinental Champion for the Intercontinental Championship on Monday night. Dominic retained without help from Finn, but with help from returning JD McDonough, which left Finn kind of confused. What's next for Judgment Day, y'all? Is it going to be a tug of war? Because JD is Finn's guy, dating back to forever. Do they all give Finn the boot, or what does this look like?
Finn getting kicked out. Finn is definitely getting kicked out. Because think about it. Who kicked out Edge in Judgment Day?
Good point.
It's happening. It is happening. Finn catching the boot, man.
I mean, a 4-year-old stable is like the end of it, right? Like, besides the New Day, after 3 years, everyone kind of just pieces out. So it's time.
I mean, if we can disband the bloodline, we can definitely
Well, Survivor Series expanded the bloodline. Let's be real. Yes, so many injuries.
But speaking of which, though, I do want to get y'all thoughts on, because there was a tweet that came out about what the original listing for WrestleMania was, and one of those was supposed to be the Wyatts versus the Judgment Day. Do we feel like that's something we should have got, or are y'all okay that didn't happen?
I'm okay that it didn't happen, because when you're in a stadium, I don't think those big multi-person matches look that well in tag fashion. It reminds me of when you had the Final Testament versus the Pride. I think this last year. It's like, and I'm just happy that they made the card, but it doesn't feel like it should be tied up at WrestleMania unless it's going to be cinematic. I don't think you get to play it out well in that big of a venue, just because like people pay a lot of money for those tickets. You kind of got to stay in the ring, and it's a match that should kind of go like all over the place to me when it's like that many people involved.
To answer your question, I think spooky gimmicks are pretty much done in wrestling right now. So like if you have a supernatural character, they don't really fit in with someone like a Gunther with everyone's hitting hard. Like it's a hard thing to write for, and the Judgment Day aren't even supernatural themselves. So it wouldn't appeal to me at all, because you still have the Wyatt Six doing all like the stuff backstage and killing people or whatever, like Chad Gable. So I don't know. I say no, but hey, they got fans, so props to them.
I would.
No, I'm a huge fan of Wyatt.
Live at some point in the past few months.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Wyatt Six, but I'm glad that didn't happen. It would have just felt like, oh, we need to put that faction with another faction and have them go against each other. I'm like, no, you missed it when it should have been the Final Testament and the Wyatt Six. That would have been something right there. But now you got to play it a little bit differently with what you're doing. So I'm glad they didn't make that happen either.
More from Monday Night Raw before we talk about the big reveal to Paul Heyman's family, if you want to call it. Io Sky took on Stephanie Vacour. Bakura getting some love on Monday Night Raw. Champion versus champion. It was stopped by Roxanne Perez as well as Julia. But Councilman knows where I'm going with this. Bakura is a star, and she is being trotted out everywhere. So, Flobo, I want to know from your mouth, how long do you think she's actually at NXT with the gravitation she has, like worldwide?
It's hard to say because there's no draft anymore or a transfer portal or whatever it is in January, but it was up to her. Yeah, I mean, she could have gone right now, but she wanted to go to NXT to work on her English and just get the final finish. So I think it's really her world, because I think I noticed on Saturday, they made sure she was part of that AAA announcement, and she's not even from Mexico or has Mexican heritage at all. I really think there's a position there to have her be one of the global carriers of the brand, like how Rey Mysterio was. So yeah, the world is her oyster, man. And of course, I mean, props to Booker T for putting it over, because now we say, every time. But hey, you know what? If you're riding the wave, go for it, because I've never seen anyone with that skill set before.
Yeah, especially when her pointing it out on Tuesday before she did it, pointed at Booker, I was like,
yeah,
Charlotte. She's so good at paying attention to the brand, though. Like, that's the thing that I really like about her. Like, she pays attention to what's going on. Like, even what you just brought up, like with the tweet from Charlotte, to Charlotte, it's like, yo, she really stays on top of what she's doing. And it is crazy that it's just like, yo, like how much she's being pushed, but also too how much it pushes towards NXT. Because it's like it makes you now want to go over there and go watch, because we've never seen anything like this before. Outside, no, let me not say that. The last time you saw something like this was Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was one of the only real ones, like from NXT, that went straight into WWE and challenged John Cena. He was like, yo, F you and your US title, bro. It's NXT over here all day. And you just got Stephanie now everywhere. But I think she's just helping building that bridge to the Latino crowd even more, which is why they're using her. Because if you think about it, I don't think we really had anyone like that is from at least woman-wise, from a Hispanic standpoint, that has really had the universe in a chokehold like she does.
Yeah, I think a lot of the aura for Raquel Rodriguez got lost. Raquel Gonzalez got lost when she became Raquel Rodriguez, but like she was going to be the Tejana for a while. You know?
Yeah, they took away like her whole biker gimmick when she got called up, and it kind of like just went down.
Mm-hmm. But also shout out to my client also being out there in them streets during Raw. I'm like, yo, yes, we make sure the Prodigy gets her shine as well. And Julia. Only thing that ruined it was Rhea. That was it.
Yeah, and Roxanne probably is long for the main roster now after getting her much-deserved rematch for the NXT Women's title. Looks like Stephanie's going to be dealing with Jordan Grace and Julia going forward. Strong storylines.
But here's the only thing I ain't like about that. Don't y'all count out Jada Parker. I don't appreciate y'all not having her out there.
It's because she took the pin.
Okay. She's the only person that had no aura though in that match. It was like Jada's like walking out here like it ain't the same Jada, man. Like, okay.
I don't like Jada's theme.
That's what it is. The new one. That's what it really is. Yeah. Jada's theme is not great because we were at NXT and we were chanting our asses off Miss Parker. The music though just don't get you hype.
No, True. It's like I don't know if it's like the snares or the drums in it. It's just very low hitting.
She should have OTM song because everyone came out like they were superstars. And Jada's like, "Hey y'all, I'm Miss Parker." And you're like, "Whoa! You don't look like you fit," even though we know she does, you know. But maybe it's the song, you know.
I think a change there is needed.
Yeah, she needs a new song. She needs to kind of step away from the whole GTA thing. I know she loves GTA, but you got to really come into now your Miss Parker vibe because like everything was set up for you right. Your vignette, you killed it. Like you had the best one out of the four, but it was like same thing as I say with the John Cena match. It gave very no mercy PLE of how you came out. You didn't come out like this is stand and deliver, show out. Like you saw what Julia had on.
Everyone had on different stuff. Like she was mad regular.
Yeah. Like she just came out like, oh yeah, it's Tuesday night. Like, okay, we got to work on that.
She got to get on that Bianca Belair commission plan and, hey, B, make me some gear real quick,
Exactly.
Give me something flashy. Speaking of flashy, we now know who is aligned with Paul Heyman outside of Seth Rollins. And it's the man that dropped the Intercontinental title, Braun Breaker, seemingly moving on to, if you want to call it, greener pastures. What do we think about the big reveal?
Did not see that.
Is that the right place for Breaker? I mean, we did get the Tribal Chief on Monday Night Raw. We got CM Punk seemingly wanting revenge. I think Punk's happy. He got his moment. Main event of WrestleMania. This is about a storyline involving Paul Heyman now, but Paul Heyman is assembling his own entourage. How do we feel about it?
I like it. I think it's dope. I just really now it made Saturday's triple threat make more sense. And I think you and I talked about that, Cedric, when you start to realize the main event was not about the three of them. This is all about Paul Heyman. This is Paul Heyman's story involving these three people. And then once you start to see it like that, it's like, oh, this makes a lot of sense because it's been a long time since we've seen Paul Heyman as a heel and be on his BS. And now we see it. And the fact that you now got the architect with you and now that it's moving into a stable, it's like, oh, okay. Now, if y'all are going to be on Raw, this is how you let SmackDown compete, having John Cena as the WWE champion, having Cody Rhodes over there, having Drew McIntyre over there. Now I'm just curious as if it's an evolution type of stable, do we get one more person or if it's going Deadly Alliance, how many people need to be in this group in order for this to sit right? Because I start thinking of championships and it's like, okay, if he's a part of this, then what happens? Does Braun Breaker now go for the world title? Is Seth kind of the back mentor or is he going for the title? I start thinking of it as like, does this group start getting titles and who is the person that gets which title? Because if it's all of this is just to go in an alliance and for you to just go back and get the IC title, it's kind of like, that's a little underwhelming. But I'm very curious and interested after the results I saw on Monday.
Yeah, 100% agree. I was worried about Paul aligning with Seth only because Paul tends to go with guys on the way up. I'm not saying that Seth can't go up, but he's like at the top of his game. So like this idea of Paul just aligning seemed contrived on Saturday. And when it ended, I was like, I don't get it. But if you got the new talent, the next big thing is Braun Breaker. No pun intended. I just remember what I just said. I like it though, because then you have a chance to put people on and really do one big push and give Seth Rollins something new to feast on. Because I gotta admit, I was getting kind of bored singing the song. You know what I'm saying? So now you got something else going on.
Yeah, the Seth fatigue is really real for me. Like, I'm not saying this is fresh. I'm kind of like in the middle as far as my intrigue, but maybe we get like a buddy cop movie out of Roman Reigns and CM Punk, and it like lifts me back up. Maybe we get one of those.
We definitely might get that at Backlash.
Buddy cop movie, I love it.
But we got 14 minutes until AEW Dynamite, which we know the councilman will not be watching, but you can watch it along with Courtney Rice. They got some great stuff going on for AEW Dynamite tonight. Appreciate you guys joining me. We're going to get out of here. But first, I want you guys to let the good people know where they can support and find you. Councilman, I'll start with you.
You can always find me at Mandy Rose is Not a Double Champion on all socials. Make sure that y'all follow that. Support my two podcasts, 63 Days. We always talk about the entire lineage of the 63 days that Julia was champion. We are now on day 23. So go check that out. And then, of course, my other podcast that we're going to have Flobo on, which is called Hands Up. Y'all know what it is.
I respect. I'm on. Let's do it.
Flobo, where can people support and find you?
Oh, so my buddy Jack Farmer and I combine like Voltron every Wednesday night at 7:30 Pacific. Now we just moved. It's called Draped in Gold. Big show post WrestleMania Fallout, Stand Deliver Fallout. Of course, some AEW in there because Jack loves that brand. On the meantime, the text, the pen to the pad, the sports and comedy blog is called justthe sandwich.com because sometimes you go to a restaurant and say you want fries with that. You go, nope, just a sandwich. wrestlesamers.com. Check me out. I have new posts there every week. Actually, today I posted about WrestleMania being too big for its britches. Check it out.
Love it. And you know what? I was found a lot this weekend. I don't want to be found today. You know my socials. It's Said Says on Twitter. Said is the answer on the gram. This is Women's Wrestling Talk. And of course, we will be back on Friday at 3 p.m. Keep on the lookout and keep sending me those DMs and those 20-second clips, because For the Love of TK will happen eventually. I pay my debts. I had a laundry list of men in Vegas looking to meet TK and shoot their shot. We're going to keep doing that on the Zoom starting sometime around Cinco de Mayo. And make sure you look around the content. We got a lot of content coming from WrestleMania, MOW, TNA Rebellion this weekend. I believe we'll be in the building getting content there as well. We're going to be in these streets quite a lot, giving you guys what you need to keep your fixes going. Again, we'll be back on Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific. This is Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. We'll see you guys later.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at wwtalkpod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at wwtalkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.